What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and welcome to another episode of Yugioh Chat. Now first off, let me go ahead and give a couple of quick shoutouts. The first one being cheap Yu-Gi-Oh sales, the second one being the Waffle 7269. We also have Top Deck 16 and Wally 213. Now all these channels are really great. What I'd like you guys to do is go over, check them out, rate, comment, like, subscribe to all their stuff. They're really cool people. I know they would really love to have more people view what they have to offer and see what they're showcasing over on their channel. So with that said, I'd like to kind of tag up on a topic that I saw on a forum board recently, and that is, how do you convince someone to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Or how was it that you were convinced to play Yu-Gi-Oh? So what I'd like to kind of do is tell you what happened to me, how I was convinced to pick up this crazy card game that we all love, and what I think it is that needs to be there in order for that to happen. So first and foremost, I think there needs to be a general curiosity about the game. I think someone needs to have already been exposed to the game in some form, at least having, have friends that play the game around them, that they see what it's like, that they have just kind of a general exposure, that they're not so foreign to it that they can't comprehend what's going on in the game, or the game mechanic itself. So with a general kind of curiosity about it, it's a lot easier to get into the game, or to get someone into it. So if you have friends out there that have watched you duel and have kind of set back and be like, what are you doing? What does that do? Why are you doing that? That kind of general curiosity is always good for getting someone first hooked into it and like bringing them in even further. And that was kind of what was in place when a buddy of mine who was really into the game kind of got me into it. Now for me, when I was growing up, board games were well prevalent in my childhood. At big family gatherings or holidays, my family would always bust out with board games. We'd all have a tremendously great time, going at each other at Monopoly or Risk or Clue or all these great old school board games. And that kind of exposure and that kind of acceptance really made transitioning into Yu-Gi-Oh! Real easy for me, that it wasn't something that I was super opposed to, that it wasn't something that I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck are we doing? Why are there these weird cards all over the place? That just kind of general acceptance and general knowledge of games made going into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just that much easier for me. And I think it really helped me kind of accept and move past that. Plus I also have a slight background in collecting comics, so collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards was also something that kind of appealed to me, as just collecting in general or being a collector is something that I always kind of enjoyed doing. With that said, the buddy of mine that first exposed me to Yugi just kind of sat me down and another friend, and we just kind of went over the rules with us, and he made us some real simplistic kind of decks to go with, and he just kind of let us play, and he let us go back and forth in games and kind of explain to us what we were doing correct, what we were doing wrong, what we could have done differently, and just kind of let us play back and forth and let us kind of develop on our own. And I believe at that point, people either take that leap, take that jump, and decide to start making their own stuff, or they kind of, this is not for me, it's fun to play maybe with you guys, or maybe they decide, this really game is not really something that I would be interested in doing. But for some, at that point, that is when that initial hook comes in, and that's when you're really able to grab them and they, accept Yu-Gi-Oh! For what it is. So for me, what I think needs to happen to get someone to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that the person needs to have a general curiosity about the game. They have to have an acceptance about the game, and then once you actually get them to play, they have to actually enjoy playing it and want to actually do it. If those things are not there, I don't believe that they will probably be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game player. In the comment section below, let me know what it is you do to convince others to play Yu-Gi-Oh! What is it that happened to you that made you actually want to play this game, to collect the game, to get the cards, to be a part of the community? And I guess that's it for this week. This is GalacticGod. Out.